Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. This program is sponsored by World Outsourcing Solutions, where we specialize in helping business owners with outsourcing needs. So if you have any outsourcing needs, give us a call or send us a message at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Today's interview is one I'm very excited because I'm getting to interview a friend of mine who has been in this journey, so to speak, for a while and is doing extremely well. In fact, the lady with me today has actually released her book, which is going off Amazon shelves like crazy. And today with me is Amanda Watts. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Incredible. And again, thank you for joining us and sharing your expert knowledge with our community here and our audience that are eager to learn from you.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you.
Awesome. Now, the title of our interview is The 3 Mistakes That Business Owners Needs to Avoid When Getting Started in Running Their Own Business. So to get us started, Amanda, tell us about yourself. How did you get started in business?
Oh, crumbs. Okay, I started my business back in 2009. Life had got to a stage where I was in a horrendous relationship and I had to leave that relationship very fast. And what happened was I had 2 children. I still have 2 children, but at the time they were 5 and 8. And I literally left this relationship, made myself homeless and the 2 children homeless. And I had no job, I had no money, nothing at all. And I had to make some decisions in life. And I was faced really with 2 choices. One was to go back to living in the corporate world. So at the time I was living in the Lake District and I was coming back down south. And I either had to go back to London, go back to a corporate job, work 12, 16-hour days to earn a good wage. You know, I had a good job back when I was in my 20s. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Or I had the opportunity to maybe go, right, let's create a business around the children so that I can pay my rent and be able to take the kids to and from school. The problem was that I was going on to housing benefit and I didn't have any money. So the first basic steps that I took was to find someone who would help me create a website, because I was totally aware that actually what we needed was to have a website so people could Google me. So I did a contra for a website. It was a horrendous website. But basically what that means is someone did my website and in return I wrote copy for their website. And then I took the kids to and from school and started networking a little bit. And they were the basic first steps I started on, from having absolutely nothing and managing to get myself onto housing benefit.
Incredible. It's amazing how you turned your life around especially during those early years when you were just coming out of a toxic relationship, and then you went on to build a 7-figure income. What had to happen mentally wise for that to happen?
I think it went to believing in myself. So I'm a big believer that those that hit rock bottom, they have 2 options. They can either stay at rock bottom, or you've got to learn like fury and try and work out why you hit rock bottom, why you was in that kind of situation, and try and analyse where you've been in the past so that you don't carry on in the future. And I think for me what it was I had to get myself into the right frame of mind of, actually I didn't need someone else to give me an amazing life. I am independent. I didn't need to be married to have this amazing life. I didn't need someone else to buy the pony for my children, that kind of thing. And it was like, bugger it, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to go out and learn as much as I can and have this success so that my children can have an amazing life and I can have a great life too. But it was very much about owning the fact that I could be independent and I could actually be the provider and didn't have to have anyone else provide for me.
Incredible. I love that attitude you have. In fact, I've seen it in many entrepreneurs, especially that we have interviewed here on the show. They have this attitude that it has to be done. And it reminds me of the quotation from George Bernard Shaw that says, the people that get ahead in this life are the people that look for the circumstance they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. That's exactly what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about actually looking at the opportunities. It's very easy, I think, that when life gives you crap, offers you lemons, you can either make lemonade or you can say, actually, life is pretty awful, and you go in that downward spiral.
Absolutely.
And I think that some of us are very blessed, and I feel very, very blessed that I had the support of my friends and my family, not all of them, but a lot of them, when I started watching certain movies and reading books and starting to talk about changing mindset and working on my business. I was supported and I was lifted up and I was encouraged to do that. So it is also about the people you surround yourself with and support you whilst you're on this entrepreneurial journey.
Incredible. I love the fact that you raise about the support from a family. If you're talking to somebody who, is at that place that they want to actually make things happen, but there is no support of family or anyone around them, what would you advise them to do?
Oh, wow. The first thing I would advise them to do is surround themselves with peers. So
Right.
there are a lot of meetups available in the UK for people who are in the UK and in America as well. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I know there are a lot of meetups that don't cost anything to go along to. And then what happens is you start to find your people. So you go to a meetup that maybe is of interest to you. And at these meetups, they're like networking events where you can learn and interact with other people. You're going to be surrounded by other people that are interested in the same thing as you,
Right.
and then you'll find friends and you'll find people that can support you. That's one way to do it in the real world. In the not so real world, online, as lots of us live through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, is actually find people on Facebook. A lot of my business comes from my Facebook personal profile. I've connected with many, many people, and my tribe has come from people just connecting and talking to me. And there's people on my Facebook friends that I've never met face to face, but I feel like I really know them and they've got my back and I've got their back. So it's literally about connecting with people, whether it's offline or online.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have to be your family or your friends that support you. Like I said, I was very lucky and I had that, but there are a lot of people that don't have that support when they start this entrepreneurial journey.
Incredible. One has to do what needs to be done in order to get there. And support for you along the journey is absolute must. In fact, talking from experience, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if I didn't have the support. In fact, I went on to get mentorship that has helped me even expand the business globally right now. Amanda, in your experience, I know you have people that look up to you. Uh, have you used any mentors, to get from that place you were to where you are today?
Oh, absolutely. Crumbs. Okay, so 2009, I struggled on my own. I'd go to networking events and I would pick out the people that I resonated with, and I would sit and I'd speak to them, and I'd go out for coffee or actually take them out for lunch, something like that. That was how I did it in the beginning.
Right.
But moving forward, about 2012 it was, I realised that I was totally limiting my success because I wasn't asking someone who had been there and done it before me.
Right.
So in 2009, I did a live program, a business accelerator program, where I learned a lot. And then at the end of that, I realized what I needed was a coach.
Right.
So I invested in my first business coach, amazing gentleman called Rob Scott. He is based in the UK. I went out and I searched high and low for people who were doing what I wanted to do. So I actually found him through LinkedIn advertising, because I was considering doing LinkedIn advertising. And I thought, right, okay, well, I want to do LinkedIn advertising. So I need to reach out to someone who's doing what I want to do so that I can learn from them. So I ended up coaching with him for about a year and a half. Absolutely phenomenal guy. And then after that, when we'd outgrown each other, I had like a month's break, realized I needed a coach again. So got myself another coach, and currently I'm working with Dan Priestley,
Incredible.
who runs the Key Person of Influence program. And when I finish with him, I will be getting another coach as well. You have to have coaches. And I also have mentors, and I belong to 2 mastermind groups. And I am constantly surrounding myself with people who are either on the same level as me or are way ahead of me that I can absolutely milk for information and learn from.
Incredible. I strongly believe in coaching. And you do coaching as well for people who are coming into this world of business.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I realized was, as I started to get my success around 2012, 2013, I worked out what the steps were that I was taking that enabled me to have the success and go from struggling to being able to have 10K months where I was able to pay for my bills and take my kids on holiday and have a nice life. And what I realized were that there were 5 key steps that you have to go on to have a successful business with deep foundations. Once I started to package those up and started to share these steps, then people started to come out to me and say, actually, Amanda, I need your help. Can you coach? Can you show me what you're doing? I would love to work with you. And that was when I started doing a lot of one-on-one marketing advice. Before then, I was helping restaurants. I was doing social media training. So I built a successful business before I started coaching.
Incredible. What I love about what you've just shared there is you show people what you have done, and
Yeah.
which I think is what separates you from a lot of people. And if you're listening, this is a very key thing for you to consider when you're going after or you're looking for a coach, is to ask, have they done what they are going to be coaching you in the area? And here Amanda is sharing with us that she had to discover the formula or steps that were causing her to succeed, and then package it and bring it to people. Very, very important to know that. Now, let me take you back to those early days, Amanda. How did you get your very first client? Just in case one of our audience is struggling to get that very important first client.
Okay, so I did not go onto social media and go onto Facebook and do 20 updates a day saying buy my stuff. What I did is I had no idea about marketing at the time. I didn't know how to go out and get new clients. So I literally, I'd heard of LinkedIn. I saw LinkedIn was full of professional people. And I thought, right, who can I connect with where I can sell my copywriting services to? Because this is what I used to do. I used to be a copywriter
Right.
back in 2009 when I first started the business. I went with what I thought would be easy for me. So I thought, who needs my copywriting services? And when I thought about it, I thought, oh, web designers. So what I did is I sent some emails out to people on LinkedIn who were web designers. And I was living in Wiltshire at the time. I sent an email to a company called Paramount Web Design,
Right.
gentleman called Clive, and I said in this email, dear Clive, I'm a copywriter. I'd love to jump on a call with you, a one-to-one call with you, just to see whether or not I can help you or your clients with copywriting. And I got my first copywriting gig, and I literally would work for him 10, 15 hours a month or so, earning about £25 an hour. But it was my first client, and it was literally from going to think about who needs my services, what's the pain I help people overcome, and literally how can I connect with them. And I did it through LinkedIn email. It was fantastic.
Incredible. I love, again, this is one of those things that makes you stand out, Amanda, is you use the most logic and most obvious ways to do. I find when talking to business owners today, they want to start with the most complicated. I want to start with this big campaign, yet leaving the most obvious. But you just demonstrated that do what makes sense to you right now, and what is obvious. You'll be amazed at what comes out of that. Let's talk for a moment about the mistakes you observe entrepreneur, especially those in the early stages of running their business, that they commit that stops them, maybe before they even get started in making money.
Okay. My biggest thing is that most entrepreneurs, when they open the doors and say, I'm open for business, they say, I can help everyone
Right.
with everything for any price. And that's really sad, because actually what they're doing is saying, buy from me, I'm a generalist, I'm not a specialist, but I can help you. I've even met people who go to networking events and say, tell me about your problems. And they'll say, this is my problem. And then they'll go around and say, oh, well, I can help with that. It drives me nuts how people think that if they throw mud, some of it will stick.
Yeah.
So I would say that there are 2 massive problems that clients and new entrepreneurs make. And that is, one, they don't niche. So they don't become a specialist in something. They don't provide a specialist service for a special kind of person. I call them their perfect fit. And their perfect fit can be someone who has a pain that they can help overcome, or someone, a specific kind of person that they like to help. And so, yeah, the first one is not having a niche. And the second one is the mistake that I made right at the beginning, is they charge for their services by the hour. So if you are talking about a service provider, someone like a health coach, a personal trainer, a life coach, even a business coach, so many of them say, oh, buy from me, I charge £30 an hour. And the problem with this is it keeps you really poor, because people are going to buy maybe 3 or 4 hours from you. Then you're going to have to sell to them again to get them to buy from you again. And you're going to have to sell to them again and again. And this is a mistake I made with Clive at Paramount, is every month I'd be like, do you want some copywriting help? And he'd say, well, yes, you can do this for £25 or this for £50.
Yeah.
And it keeps you really, really poor. So my advice is don't sell by the hour, but just like I have learned to do, is package up huge value. So work out exactly how much you can help someone, turn it into a package, and work with them for 3 months or for 6 months, and say, right, it's going to cost £1,500 to work with me, and I'm going to take you from this pain to this solution. So what happens there is, when you know who your niche is and your ideal client, it's very easy to take them from pain to solution. So having a niche and having a packaged product or a packaged service is the best way to go out and start building your business, but so many people don't. They do it the difficult way.
Incredible. In fact, I'm one of those culprits. When I got started, I did it the difficult way. Thought, okay, who can I save? Who is ready to give me money? Because I was just starting out. But let's explore a little bit about niche. People finding out exactly what it is that they are good at, or who are their target market. How do you go about helping clients to do just that?
Well, I would say 99 out of every 100 of my clients that I've worked with, their niche is actually in their story. So one thing that I get my clients to do is to write out how they got to this point in time. Not dissimilar from what you asked me at the beginning of this call, is that actually if you map out why you want to be a life coach, so you look at your life and what you've been through, and it's brought you to this moment in time to be a life coach, or why do I want to be a business coach? Well, actually, the reason I want to be a business coach is because I went through the pain struggling. Who do I want to help? Well, I want to help people like me, which is why I love working with marketing and business coaches that are struggling. And the best way to find your niche to start with is look at your story, and in your story are the clues to who you should be helping. I've had divorce mentors I work with. I'm currently working with a gentleman who is a relationship coach. We have health and wellness people. Another one of my clients, Alex, she helps people get back to nature, and she does personal training outdoors. The only reason she helps people who want to train outdoors is because that's what she loves doing. She doesn't want to be stuck inside a gym. So she's like, right, who's my niche? Well, they're stressed out people who are stuck indoors all day, who don't want to exercise in the gym and want to get back to nature. Her niche came through what she really wanted to do in life. So we look at things like that, and the people who are setting up the business, because I think it's so important to love what you do.
Absolutely.
And if you get forced into a niche that you don't love, then you're just not going to enjoy it. So.
Absolutely. Gosh, business is complicated enough to then go in and do something that you don't love. You want to do something that you will do even if you don't get paid, because you enjoy it, you feel you're giving value. And of course, people will know that you love what you're doing. And when people can sense that, they would want to do business with you as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I love what I do, and so much of my business comes purely because people can see that I love it, and I show up every single time with passion and excitement, and I'm 100% focused. And this is what happens with my clients as well, because their niche is something that they have fallen in love with. They love their clients. I call them yummy clients.
Right.
So if you love your yummy clients, you're going to show up every single day, even if you feel like crap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your clients feel that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. They feed off you. It's the vibrations that you put out into the world. And some clients, I've had a day where I've been really worried, like at the beginning, about having